Hey, welcome to Tournament Takeaway, the series that answers the question, how many times does a guy have to lose before he learns his lesson? Today we're going to look at a video of another freestyle match, and it's another one from the Arena Australis lobby. That's where I tend to learn most of my lessons. This one was against a guy called Caleb the Norman, who is... I like Caleb. I remember having a conversation with him one time. He was feeling a bit frustrated that he wasn't getting the results in tournaments that he wanted, and I was trying to coach him, coach him to feel better at the time. But I think ever since then, I don't think I've won against him since. I think I don't know if he's gotten better since then, or if he was just always that good, and I'd had a good day against him that day. But he's been beating me a lot lately, and here is one of the battles in which he beat me. So, like I said, a freestyle match, and anyone who was watching a couple of episodes ago might notice that I've learned my lesson about the Bastiodon counters. I've got probably 3 there now, if you count the Azumarill. Now, this was... this battle took place when Registeel had just hit the scene, and I was expecting everyone to bring a Registeel. My choice of counter was, the Medicham too, but my main counter, I really like a Alolan Marowak as a counter to Registeel, because resists the Flash Cannon, double resists the Focus Blast. It had Fire Spin, so super effective fast move there. And, the Spandy Bone Club is super effective as well. I think the Shadow Ball does do more damage, but yeah. Loving that. Also a great Grass counter as well, because obviously it's resisting the Frenzy Plants, but it also resists the Sludge Bomb from your Grass Poisons. So, really liking that. We're going to look at match number 1 of the set of 3. I was thinking he did have the Registeel. Not as many people as I thought brought the Registeel, but he had it. And I was thinking to myself, well, I've got to bring the Marowak, of course. What else did I go for? I was brought out the Medicham to take on the Umbreon, and kind of good neutral damage against the Meganium. Excellent counter to the Registeel as well, so I thought it was, a good idea to do that. And what was my other one that I brought in? Well, let's just watch the video and find out. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. Maybe I should edit these down before I put them on. I don't know how long this holding screen goes for. There it is. Alright, so Medicham against the Haunter. Lovely start for me. This Medicham had Psycho Cut, which had such great success in Sinister Cup. Now, I remember here I wasn't sure what to do, so it made me hesitate. I thought maybe I'll just try and get up a bit of energy first, so I can kind of come in with the Psychic or the Dynamic Punch later when shields are more depleted. But in the end, I was like, oh no, that Shadow Punch is going to discharge way too fast, so I had to get out of there before it was fully charged. I bring out the Bastiodon, because as you could see, my other one was the Marowak, so bringing that in against the Haunter ain't going to do any good. So I had to bring in Bastiodon, and out comes the Swampert. Just letting that one go. Bold move. And what am I going to do here? Oh, that's unlucky. Choosing to spend the last shield. Earthquake. I did so poorly with that charge move. Just get into another Hydro Cannon. Just Swampert is so fast. Now, I think that was a poor decision in the moment by Caleb, because the Marowak, the whole point of it was to counter the Registeel, so that played into my hands. It goes for a Focus Blast first, and then goes, oh yeah, double resisted. So I'm just hitting him with a big ball of shadows there. I think I ended up farming him down for the rest of it. No, he got me another one. I do still farm him down, because obviously that's damage done now. He's learned his Flash Cannon. Alright, and I'm presuming that he'll bring out the Haunter, I reckon. But I don't... He didn't do that. So I bring out the Shadow Ball again. How much damage does that do? Yeah, takes it out. But here comes Haunter. It just punches me right in the feels, and I lost that one. So I picked this battle because I think my team of 3 composition was quite poor. I picked the Medicham and the Marowak, both weak to the Haunter. The Bastiodon and the Marowak, both weak to Swampert. How could I have done that better? Well, I wanted the Marowak to take on the Registeel. That's fine. I don't need the Medicham as my backup counter. So I think the Azumarill would have been a much, much better option. And then third would, bringing the Bastiodon in again would leave out that same problem of it both being, both the Bastiodon and Marowak would have been weak to Swampert. So maybe the Venusaur... Yeah, I reckon Azumarill, Marowak, Venusaur would have been a much better way to go. Still pretty weak to the Haunter, but definitely not as much so. Now, I'm just realizing this now. The battles that I simulated on pvpoke.com's training feature did none of that. Instead, I just looked at that exact team of 3 that I did go with and just kind of work out if there was anything I could do differently to turn that around in my favor. So this first one here is me just getting out much quicker. I've switched to the Bastiodon straight away rather than hesitating with the Medicham. And of course, the AI just instantly brings out the Swampert to counter it. Now, I've chosen to shield here. Anyone watching this, let me know if you think it's a smart decision in this exact spot to shield the Bastiodon and keep it alive. I opt to use both shields. And I'm pretty sure the thinking there was to keep it as alive as I could to counter the Haunter, because, if once Bastiodon goes, then pretty weak to Haunter. The AI takes me out with the Earthquake again. Why do they keep overdoing it? They're just flexing. And yeah, I've got no shields left, and Swampert manages to get to another Hydro Cannon. Takes out a lot of my health, and maybe I could have farmed it down with Psycho Cut. I know Psycho Cut's not a big, high damage move, but actually maybe I did farm it down. Oh no, it got to another Hydro Cannon. Oh, the humanity. That's gone. And now I've got my Lola Marowak against the AI's entire team and a shield. Look, I'm still trying to tap away that Bone Club, just hoping against hope. Alright, so let's try again. What do I do this time? Another quick switch. I think with this one I just burned the one shield. Yep, so I burn a shield there. Earthquake. Come on, man. Hydro Cannon is fine. So, I get to the Stone Edge. And Swampert leaves it alone. So now I'm down one shield. I think from here... No, I did burn both my shields. Okay. So what do I do differently in this battle? Shield expended by the AI. So I think that's we're at one shield each at the moment. Just... No, it's 1-0. I did burn both my shields, yeah. That's silly of me. Now, what are we doing here? I think... Okay, so I farm this Swampert down after it hits me with its Hydro Cannon. And it does a lot of damage. So I'm expecting it to come out with Haunter. It comes out with a Red Distill. Very, very unlucky. Psychic would have taken it out. Oh, but it still has a shield, doesn't it? Yeah, the AI predicted that I'd be using Psychic. Opted not to shield. So I charge up enough for a Dynamic Punch. Shields that one. Why not? Managed to get to another Dynamic Punch. And it does a good chunk of damage. Now comes my Red Distill counter, but not before. Well, no, was before the Haunter came out and went with its little floating hand. Just nope. Oh, that Shadow Ball just wrecking you like a truck. Alright, so that still didn't work. Try it again. Battle number 3. This time, I decided to burn one shield on the Medicham before taking it out. And I'm tapping away that Psychic there. And surely it's going to use a shield here. How terrible is my memory? I did these battles very recently. So now we're one shield each. Ah, yes, and I opted to let the Medicham go down. And that's because, as we discussed earlier, like, I don't need the Medicham. Like, it's pretty useless to the rest of the team. Like, Marowak's doing the job of countering against Registeel. So because the Medicham goes down, I now have the ability to exploit switch advantage. I brought out the Bastiodon, obviously huge counter for Haunter. Brings out the Registeel instead of the Swampert, which I found a little bit surprising. Because that enabled me to bring out the Marowak, which can just farm this thing down to nothing. Alright, now I opted to... You can see me hitting the Bone Club there. I'm expecting Swampert to come out, and it does. Well, I don't remember if I was trying to just bait its last shield, or whether I thought it would be Haunter that came out anyway, which Bone Club would be sufficient to take care of. I'm trying to get to this Shadow Ball. He gets to the Hydro Cannon first. Check this out. Check this out. I shield it so I can use that Shadow Ball. And my Marowak goes down! I don't know, like, if you're a new player, you might not know this. When you shield a move, it still does 1 damage. So, I had gotten down to 1 HP, and that made the shield ineffective, losing me the game. I don't know if I would have won that game anyway. Let's... Actually, what we're going to do, take this out and bring this up here. We're going to find out what amount of damage a Shadow Ball does to a Swampert. So we go Marowak, Alolan, Fire Spin, Shadow Ball, Bone Club. Let's just say it's got a starting energy of 100 and no shields. Because RIP. So, Shadow Ball would do 78 damage. So about half its health. I don't think that would have taken out the Swampert from memory. I think it had more health than that. And that meant I probably still would have lost the battle, but... Oh, it's just so painful watching your shielded Pokemon go down, allowing the rest of your opponent to just tear your team apart. So, that was battle number 3. Here's attempt number 4. So I'm thinking, what could I have possibly done to turn this match around in my favor? I get to a Psychic this time, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting that. And a bit of skipping there. I elected to save my shields. See what kind of difference that makes. So I bring out the Alolan Marowak because I think the reason I did that was because I was expecting the AI to counter switch immediately. Like it had, as soon as I brought in the Basketball, it would keep switching to something else, Swampert or Ready Steel. So I was hoping to catch it on a counter switch, on an immediate counter switch. Obviously, it read me quite well. And I feel like this is just trying to keep the Marowak alive unnecessarily. Well, I mean, no, I do need to keep it alive because, like, my Medicham's already gone down. And, so close. So close to getting that last Fire Spin. Yeah, one more Fire Spin would have done it. Hydro Cannon takes out the Marowak. I've got no shields left. Out comes Ready Steel. And what moves does Ready Steel have again? Basketball knows what's coming. Just a big old punch to the face. Doesn't take it out, which I found very surprising. Manages to get out a flamethrower, but at this point, there's really not much I can do. Barring the AI having some sort of heart attack. Used Flash Cannon there as well. So yeah, obviously having a lot of trouble figuring out a way to turn this match around in my favour. So I think by this stage I'd given up. I did try one more thing, just putting the Bastiodon as my lead, just to see what would happen there. So it comes out with the Registeel, and out comes my Marowak. I can farm that thing down. Would it have been the same if it had led with Swampert? I probably would have switched into the Medicham. Which, with 2 shields, I think the Medicham's winning that. Not the Medicham, I think the Swampert's winning that. Anyway. Just Fire Spin away. Should I have used the Bone Club there? I reckon I could have farmed it. Or at least just gotten a bit more energy up. I got a shield out of it anyway. So out comes the Haunter. Just swipes the Marowak out of existence, but that's alright because Marowak's done its job. Switching, done and done. I've got 2 shields versus the 1, so pretty sure I'll win this one. And I know that my Bastiodon's in the back there and the Haunter's in the back of the AI, so just keep this Medicham alive and we'll be golden. Using my second shield. Alright, watch this punch, it's going to be dynamic. Is dynamic punch really that good a move? I don't know. I feel like I would have expected it to take out the Swampert. Huh. I totally forgot that happened. So the Swampert did beat me. Which means 2/2 shields would have been a cakewalk for the Swampert. Look at how much damage that Shadow Ball does. It's just so... If anyone watching this has a Shadow Ball Haunter that they're willing to trade to me, I will give you my kidney for a Shadow Ball Haunter. Luckily, I was able to take out the Swampert in 2 smackdowns, so it couldn't get to another Hydro Cannon, otherwise I would have been toast. So I did win that one. Is there a scenario where I would have reasonably led with the Bastiodon, assuming that my other 2 Mons were the Medicham and the Marowak? Could I reasonably have decided that leading with Bastiodon was a better idea? So here's that team again. We got the Haunter and the Togekiss, and I guess the Umbreon Bastiodon count as hard. This was battle 1 of 3. I probably should have mentioned that, because by this stage, neither of us had established any patterns yet. So I could reasonably have decided that Caleb would lead with the Togekiss or the Haunter. In fact, I mean, I've seen at least 4 of those Mons commonly used as leads. Umbreon I don't see very much, and because Registeel is kind of new to the meta, I don't know how often people use that as a lead. Probably better as a closer because of the hard-hitting charge moves. So of those 4, Bastiodon counters 2, but counters them quite hard. Bastiodon is no good as a switch-in. as in, like, if you're giving up switch advantage, you don't want to be locking Bastiodon in, because once it gets countered, it's countered pretty hard. So I think leading with Bastiodon could have been quite a reasonable decision for me to make in the moment, because then, say they led with the Meganium, I could probably switch to the Marowak, which that would have led the AI or Caleb to switch to the Swampert. Then I could probably, once the Swampert beat the Marowak, I could probably take out the rest of it with the Medicham, and then I've still got the Medicham to counter the Redisteel. So okay, it's I can kind of see that argument made. However, the takeaway from this is that you've got to pick your team of 3 a lot better than what you saw in that video there. I picked Mons that 2 of them were hard countered by the Swampert, which is a very common pick. 2 of them hard countered by the Haunter. Leaves me way too open and susceptible to losing that. I ended up winning match number 2, but lost match number 3. So yet another loss for the fish on a heater, who's no longer on a heater. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something from it, despite the rambling. If you have any opinions on what you saw, what a better team of 3 would have been to counter his overall team of 6, if you do think there was anything that I could do to fix that situation once I'd been stuck into that terrible team, then let me know. Maybe try and sim it out and link me to it. That would be amazing. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.